Good morning. Welcome to Unity Orlando. Our opening statement this morning is, I celebrate the vast possibilities of my life. Yeah, let's all affirm that together. I celebrate the vast possibilities for my life. All right, let's all close our eyes and take a nice deep breath in. Let's affirm that together in the silence. And so it is. Now, if you'd like to stand and join us in singing our joy song this morning, it's called With Your Love. Singing together, breathing together, dreaming together, wherever you are, we have a purpose when we're focused with your love, with your love, with your love, with your love, we determine we are strong in discerning with your love, with your love, with your love. All right, good job. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning, Unity Orlando. How's everybody doing today? Great to see your beautiful faces. I'm Susan Francis. I'm your platform speaker today. Do we have any visitors here for the first time that want to raise their hand? All right, well, welcome everyone, and welcome online as well. Just a couple announcements. Our chaplains pray every evening at 8 p.m., and we invite you to join us. And we have a new month, so the theme for September is, what we're focusing on is gratitude for all things big and small. So that includes everyone and everything. Also, just remember, chaplains are available to pray with you after service. If you need prayer, right now, I think I'm the only one in the house, so see me after service. Also, prayer requests for Unity World Day of Prayer are available on the credenza in the foyer. And what's going to happen is our prayer chaplains will pray over them for a month and then send them to Silent Unity for another month of prayer. And the World Day of Prayer is September 13th over like the evening, and then September 14th. And you can visit unity.org for more information on their grand opening ceremony. You can watch it online. So check that out if you care to. Reverend Bob's lesson this morning is Simple Pleasures. But before I turn it over to Brian, I have a little story to tell you. There was an honest man who was being tailgated by a stressed out woman on a busy boulevard. Suddenly, the light turned yellow just in front of him, and he did the right thing. He stopped right before the crosswalk, even though he could have beaten the red light by accelerating through the intersection. The tailgating woman hit the roof and the horn, screaming in frustration as she missed her chance to go through the intersection. As she was still in mid-rant, she heard a tap, tap, tap on her window, and she looked up into the face of a very serious police officer. The officer ordered her to exit her car with her hands up. He took her to the police station where she was searched, fingerprinted, and photographed, and then placed in a holding cell. After a couple hours, the policeman approached the cell and opened the door. She was escorted back to the booking desk, and the arresting officer was waiting with her personal effects. He said, "I'm very sorry for the mistake. You see, I pulled up behind your car while you were blowing your horn, flipping off the guy in front of you, cussing a blue streak at him. And I noticed the Choose Life license plate holder, the What Would Jesus Do bumper sticker, the Follow Me to Sunday School bumper sticker, and the chrome-plated Christian fish emblem on the trunk. And naturally, I assumed you stole the car." And now, I'm going to turn it over to Brian.
Yeah, couldn't have been all of that stuff on the bumper stickers. I think I know that person. I think they followed me in here today. No, all green lights this morning. So here's a song that I guess it's a bit old now. It's called The One. I've made my life more simple when I've trusted in the Lord, the one who has created life itself. I make my world one better place when I trust in the one who turned the light on in my life. And I can sing 10,000 songs, or I can sing just one. I can sing for millions or just for one. We could do miraculous things. We have already begun. So I'll just sing this song for the one. And I can sing 10,000 songs, but I can sing just one. I can the one who wipes away our tears, the one who shatters all our fears, the one who rids the darkness from our hearts, the one you know will stand by us, the one who knows there's hope for us, the one who lives inside of each of us, the one who lives in every one of us, the one who lives in each and every one of us.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. Brian earlier today told me his nightmare. He said, I was just thinking that this morning. What if it's just you and me? What if he doesn't have all you wonderful people who back him up and make everything sound wonderful? And I said, oh, we'll get through it. Thank you all, our whole music department. Well, I trust you all endured the hurricane. We did pretty good, didn't we? I got away with going out on a limb and saying we would be safe. Okay, but there is one big announcement that I need to make before we get going. The Reverend Ronnie Kenny passed peacefully last Thursday in the early morning hours. Okay. Right in line with the way it, with the path she'd been taking the last few weeks. She made a wonderful exit, just as she lived a wonderful life. She deeply touched many of us and left her mark on our lives. So, we're going to have a celebration of life for her, but in order to accommodate the out-of-town family, we will be having a celebration of life on Sunday, September 17th. That's 2 weeks from today at 1 p.m. So, I hope you can be with us that Sunday. It will be streamed. It will also be streamed. Okay, so if you can't be here, if you're going to be out of town, you can tune in. I had said I was not going to say a lot about this today. We're going to save that for the 17th. But Ronnie was a very special being. Been with this church since the first year or two when I arrived. She arrived, I think, that first year. And became a Unity teacher. Stepped up and became our assistant minister. People don't realize this. When you are a licensed teacher, you're capable of taking over a church. And she stepped up to the ministry. Paul said something the other day, maybe that capsulizes it. He was sitting with the funeral director discussing, filling out a form. And he said, and what was her vocation? And he says, well, the one she did for the most of her life was she was a manager in a medical facility, office manager in a medical facility. And she starts to write that down, and he stops and he says, I have just been corrected. You're to write down she was an ordained minister. Because though she only did it for a few years, she had a huge impact. And we're grateful to have been part of that. Okay, welcome to all you who are at home, and to all of you who are with us here today. This is Labor Day weekend. I think you get extra points for coming out on a holiday weekend. You know, Labor Day is one of those times when we celebrate stepping away from work and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. I remember those Labor Day picnics at my grandparents' when I was a kid. You know, there was a picnic, lots of food to share, horseshoes, the game, you know, mainly men throwing horseshoes. The women were talking, each with their favorite pastime, I guess. In either case, it was a time just to get together and experience the simple goodness of life. So, today that's what we want to do. We want to talk about the simple pleasures, because often they're the most important. We as a society are addicted to excitement. We're addicted to achievement. I read an article a while back, a number of years ago now, that said, people say they want peace, but if they had it, they'd be bored. Now, I immediately wanted to take exception to that. Well, that's not true. We really do want peace. Then I thought about it and thought, yeah, we are kind of addicted to excitement. And that was the essence of the article. We have to deal with our addiction to excitement. Just look at what's happened on TV in the last, 50 years? We go back to the movies of 50 years ago, and they are not exciting enough for us. They're not dramatic. They need to, they need to have some terror in there and some blood and guts and fighting and car chases. It's amazing. We are addicted to adrenaline rush. Therefore, we need days like Labor Day to relearn the thrill of the subtle things in life. There's a thrill to the subtle things. I'm going to do a couple of quotes from movies, and the first one is from the original Men in Black. When they're worried about finding the galaxy, they've been told they have to find the galaxy or Earth gets destroyed, and they're talking to Frank, the alien hiding out as a dog on Earth. And so the dog is talking back, and the dog is explaining to them, he's trying to explain to them the galaxy, it's the size of a marble with the entire energy of a galaxy in it. And if you look inside, you can see the galaxy whirling around in there. They said, but their first reaction is, no, it can't be on Earth. The galaxy can't be on Earth because a galaxy is huge. And this was Frank's response. He said, you humans never get it. Something doesn't have to be big to be really important. So what I want to say today is sometimes our biggest accomplishments in life may not be our most important moments. As humans, we tend to measure ourselves by our biggest accomplishments. But sometimes that's not the most important thing you did with your life or the most important moment. Sometimes those subtle moments of beauty and goodness are the richest experiences in our lives. They're what's really going to go with us when everything's gone. Those deep experiences of life, and they're often subtle. It's not necessarily the drama or even the huge success that's going to be the most important thing that happened to you in this life. Said I was going to quote a couple of movies. I got another one, The Day After Tomorrow. You've got the young man and the young woman are kind of trapped with a couple other friends. They're in the midst of this dangerous storm. And they're trying to get to know each other. So the girl says to the guy, "What's your favorite vacation?" And the young man responds, "Going to Greenland with my dad on a boat." And she goes, "Oh." He said, "We had engine trouble. We got stuck in the middle of the ocean for a week with this really terrible weather." And she kind of squinches her face up and says, "Sounds really boring." He says, "No, it was great. It was just my dad and me. And there was nothing else to do. And we just talked. And it was the best week of my life." Sometimes it's during that downtime when you should be really bored that we finally let go and experience the real depth of life. For me, and Patty agrees, I love hurricanes. Well, as long as I'm not directly in its path where it's going to rip my roof off or flood my bottom floor. Okay, then what you do is you leave. But for me, I like being there for the hurricane. For the hurricane. You know, it's all stress and anxiety moving up to the storm, getting prepared, getting everything in order. I got to get this straight. I got to get that straight. But once the winds start, as long as you know that you're not in the direct path where you might need to actually leave, just being hunkered down, looking out the only window you haven't boarded up, and experiencing the storm. There's such a special feeling to that. Your richest experiences of life often come from being, not from doing. And your richest experiences are often found in the simple pleasures. And those simple pleasures often revolve around something very simple, but experienced with your heart. That's what carries you to depth. Part of learning to be for a moment, rather than think and do, which is what we do most of the time with most of our lives, is to learn to engage your heart and just feel where you are right now, what's going on in this moment. Simple is often the richer, deeper experience, much more than complicated, because in the end, complicated draws you into your mind and away from your heart. Exciting, which we all seem to be a little addicted to. It focuses on the dramatic. And that draws you away from the simple, subtle beauty of life. So for Labor Day weekend, we're going to talk about the simple pleasures, those heart experiences that we need to stop and pursue for moments each day in order to remember the richness of life. Now, you don't have to give up excitement. You don't have to give up achievement. And you certainly don't have to give up fielding the complications of life. You're going to end up doing all those things. We're saying you just have to make a little bit of time each day for the simple pleasures in order to keep connected to the glory of God on that level. You want connected to the higher realms? It's not really in accomplishing great things. It's experiencing the simple thrill of the glory of God in life. That's what will keep you connected. In Psalm 24:1, psalmist writes, "The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein." The earth, the Lord is moving through. The Spirit of life is moving through everything around you. It's not divided into good things and bad things. We like to do that, but that's not what it is. The glory of God is shining through all of life. It all belongs to God. And God shines through every part of it. So taking time to enjoy the presence of God moving through all of life around us. And you have to stop to feel that subtle thrill of experiencing the divine moving through all of life. That's the basis of how wonderful those simple pleasures are that enrich our lives. In Ecclesiastes 4:6, better a handful of tranquility than 2 hands full with toil and chasing after the wind. I like that, chasing after the wind. So maybe this Labor Day will take time to learn to take a handful of tranquility. Because in that moment of tranquility, it's not boring. It's only boring if you are looking for excitement. That tranquility can become thrilling on this very subtle and wonderful level. Now, I'm going to close the scriptures with 3 passages, actually, that I'm going to run right together. Matthew 11:25, Jesus said, "I thank thee, O my Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hidden these things from the wise and the men of understanding, and has revealed them to children." In Matthew 18:3-4, "Unless you change and become like little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whoever will humble himself like this little child shall be great in the kingdom of heaven." And of course, Psalm 37:4, "Delight in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart." taking childlike joy in the glory of life, that glory that's found in the simple pleasures, and doing it just for a little bit of time each day connects you with the spiritual realms. It's not the car chase that connects you with your spiritual self. It's that handful of tranquility and the childlike joy, the abandoned joy you take in life like a child who just is excited by everything in life, thrilled by life itself, and takes tremendous childlike joy in the goodness of life. That's what will connect you to where you really want to go. Notice he said, delight in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. When you're connected on this subtle level of joy, your life opens up and wonderful things start flowing. So I'm going to talk about some practices for spending a little time in the simple pleasures of life. I have just got a list of all kinds of stuff that I enjoy doing that connect me on that subtle level. And I've broken them into 4 categories. The first category is nature. That's where I always start. Learn to experience each part of nature, whatever it is, with your heart and feel its amazing essence. Everything has an essence. And how do you do that each time? Feel it in your heart and cherish it. Well, what part of nature are we going to work with? Everything works. Okay? Start with weather. You can feel the glory of the rain. Often it's the disappointment of rain or the running from, oh my God, I'm going to get wet. Going to melt? Are you the Wicked Witch of the West? I'm melting. Some of the times it's good to try to stay dry. And occasionally it's just, rain is glorious. And if you're not into getting wet, stay inside and watch the rain. But feel the glory of it all. Feel the glory of sunlight on your skin. You're going to have to stop to do that. Most of the time we don't stop. We walk through the sun, but we're paying no attention. Take a moment to feel the glory of sunlight on your skin, or the essence of the seasons. Each season has a feeling. You can tell when it's changed. People will say, I can feel fall arriving. And it's not just the temperatures. There's a feeling to each season, an essence to be experienced. Okay, so what are some other things? Lay on the ground. You know? Remember Pretty Woman? She had him, here's the guy who's been this high-powered financial whiz, and she's got him taking his shoes off and walking through the grass barefoot, something he hasn't done in years. Well, take a moment to lay on the ground and feel the earth underneath you. Stand in the wind and absorb its majesty, its awesome majesty. Watch the dance of the clouds through the sky and see its beauty, or get lost in gazing at the stars for a moment, lost in the vastness of this universe of which we are a part. You can get very specific, and you can dwell on the beauty that is adoration of, I don't know, a tree, a flower, an animal, the river, the ocean, whatever it is. You just feel your oneness with it. You just concentrate on, focus on it until you can feel what the pure essence of this expression of life is. I remember I spent an hour meditating on a tree down in the ravine beyond my parents' backyard. I was in my 20s then, I think. Might have even still been in ministerial school. It was in Austin, Texas. And when I was done with that 45 minutes to an hour, I thought, how do I describe this? And all I could say was, my friend, the tree. My friend. There was a bonding that went on. You can bond with any form of nature. And when you do, you're touching the spirit that moves through it all. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. Well, another one is simply to go for a walk. You say, oh, I do that. I get my exercise. This isn't about exercise. This is about a walking meditation. Walk through the glory of life and experience the whole environment around you as that glory. You can take it a step further by feeling yourself flowing through life as you take that walk and flowing in harmony with everything around you. It's a walking meditation. For me, one of the simple pleasures of life is gardening, so I'm going to mention it quickly before we move on. A lot of people think of gardening as the work. You know, you got to dig, you got to do this, you got to weed, you got to all of that. For me, the real essence of gardening is that moment in which I am appreciating, loving, and praising my plants. And sometimes I won't do anything but walk out and see how they're growing. And just share a moment with my plants. Now that's gardening. And that's a spiritual experience. Okay. So in nature, you can do all kinds of things to have that moment of depth, to open your heart and experience life. It's a simple, subtle pleasure. And yet it's the experience of God. But let's kick it up a notch. The second category is people. Learn to savor the essence of the people you share this life with. This world is the greatest art gallery that ever existed. There are no two people who feel on a deep level whose essence is exactly the same. Everyone is unique. And if you take the time, you can feel the specialness of each one. It's their essence. It's what makes them special. And in the end, if you can touch that, that's God shining through them. One Thanksgiving, I turned down a number of invitations. I was alone, and I turned down a number of invitations to go for Thanksgiving dinner because I'd made up my mind I had an adventure. My son had given me a pass to Disney. So for Thanksgiving, I got in my car and I drove down to Epcot, and I went into Epcot and I sat on a bench the whole time. I didn't go there to ride the rides or see the displays. I went there to experience the essence of all the different people who went by. And I walked through that place just feeling. It was amazing. Because, of course, this is a gathering of all kinds of people. And to feel the essence, I spent several hours just experiencing the essence of all the different people going by. Well, let's assume you don't have a Disney pass. Take some time to appreciate your friends. And that sometimes means just sitting quietly with them and not being uncomfortable, that you're not doing something. Just sitting quietly with them and sharing the moment. Or your mate. We do so much interaction with the primary person that's in our life, no matter what role they're playing, that sometimes we begin to take them for granted. Look at them. Enjoy seeing them. And cherish them in your life. Remember how much you love them. And maybe even speak up and say, I am grateful to have you in my life. There is a richness to that. The third category, I'm going to talk about your body. The most ignored thing we have. We dress it really nicely, but, it's like the poor stepchild that, come on, work harder, do more for me, cooperate. Now, why'd you have to go and get hurt? Take some time to love your body. Cherishing your body is one of the simple pleasures of the glory of life. Well, one practice is to go through and praise each part of your body and stop to feel the body responding, because it will. The body responds to praise. Take a moment to see the glory of God shining through this body that we're temporarily inhabiting. And feel that sense of how wonderful it has been to be a loyal servant to you. It has carried you through all kinds of stuff. We haven't always treated it with the utmost of respect. Turn it around and feel the subtle response of the body that is appreciated. And take joy in sensual pleasure. I've told you about the people who gave me a weight loss program when I first showed up here, and I was a lot thinner then. And when I listened to the tape that they gave me, it was basically, take hot bubble baths and pet your body, and others be nice to it. And what they said was that tens of thousands of people had used this technique and either lost weight or gained weight if they needed it. They went to their healthiest state when the body was loved. Wow. So, body pleasures. Oh, I wouldn't dare do that. No, take a warm bath. One of my luxuries I got, though I'm not using it in this hot summer, is I got this little tiny hot tub. We don't have a pool. This is our pool. Got this little tiny hot tub. My body enjoys sitting in that warm water. Well, you can do it in your tub, right? Or feel nature stimulating your body. Normally, we're trying to avoid the heat and the cold. Maybe you just take a moment to feel the glory of cold, the glory of warmth, or feel the wind on your skin, the earth. When I was in my mid-20s and had my appendix taken out, let's put it this way, it burst while I was waiting to get in for surgery. And the further I got back, by the third day when the doctor decided that I definitely was going to live, he finally leveled with me and says, "We almost lost you." So that's how serious it was. And I was there for a while. And when I got home, the first thing I wanted to do was go out and sit on the ground. I wanted to feel the earth. There was a strength I could feel nurturing my body out of the earth. Okay, and the meditation exercise with the body is simply to take time to feel the well-being residing in your body. No matter your state of health, there is a sense of well-being even underneath the pain and the difficulty. So take a moment to feel the life in your body, the life in every cell. And of course, there's the exercise of going through your body and lighting the light of life in every cell of your body. But of course, the most classic of all of meditation using a body focus is your breath, right? Just breathe. And for a few moments, feel the goodness of breathing. We rarely pay attention. Pay attention to the rhythm, the feeling, the energy of breathing. All of these ways are ways to experience that subtle glory of life through your body. And of course, the fourth category I'm going to hit are the simple pleasures in meditation experiences. Fourth category. Don't distract my technician. It is a simple pleasure to simply sit in the presence of God. There's nothing more subtle. And for some, there's nothing more boring. And that means they're just not getting it. To sit in the thrill, the pleasure of resting in God's presence. What are you going to do in meditation? I'm just going to rest in God's presence. I'm just going to be there. If you want to do something, move into super awareness. become extremely aware of the glory of color, what happens is we live life by ignoring much of it most of the time. And what we can do is take a few moments, become amazingly aware of blueness, of color, of shape, of texture. As in your mind, you run the fingers along the ceiling tiles. Texture. What else have I got here? Sound. If you become extremely aware, you can hear the air conditioner, you can hear traffic when it passes on the street, you can hear almost what you would simply call the buzz of life. And it's amazingly pleasing, the smell in the air, the tactile sense of the world around you, such as I said, your fingers across the rough surface. And when you become extremely aware, you experience the beauty and the glory of life all around you. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. And when you can feel that absolute beauty, you're dwelling in God's presence. So just get lost seeing the glory of life shining through everything. Can you do that? Can you take that moment to just know the Spirit of life is moving through everything, and the glory of God is shining through everything? If you see with eyes that see, every day is like Christmas. Every yard and house is lit up with lights. Everything you look at has a radiance to it that if you can't see, you can feel. Remember the heart? So finally, the last step is simply spend time in meditation, sitting first in God's presence and then feeling the universe loving you. One of the truest ailments of almost all humanity is our feeling of inadequacy, our feeling of not being loved. When all the world, all the universe is already loving you. Stop to feel it and realize I am the beloved child of God. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. I've given you much more than you will probably want to take on in one day. But then life's long. Try them all out eventually. We're going to still need to fulfill our responsibilities in life. We're going to still need to try to understand our way through life. Thinking about and doing the important and complicated things in our life will still probably dominate much of our day. Always has, probably always will. But when it's all over, some of the most important times in our lives will be the simple, subtle experiences when we turned away from the intellect and let the heart take the lead. They were the times when we sensed the depth and the absolute beauty of life. Those are the times when we literally connected with the glory of God. Now, making sure you have times each day to focus on the simple, subtle pleasures will make your life a lot richer and will draw you closer to the experience of heaven, even while living here on the earth. So let's take a deep breath, close our eyes, sigh it out. We close our eyes and go into meditation. One of the real pleasures of life is to sit in the presence of God. But to know that pleasure, we have to quiet ourselves. Peace. Be still. And it's as if we can hear the echoing of the call from deep within in our soul. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. And we feel ourselves drawn into our heart, to the very center of our being, where all the outer world is left behind, but here within, we are not alone. For the Father is with us. For the kingdom of God is within us. So just enjoy the comfort and the safety, the well-being of sitting in God's presence. Feel the thrill of being cradled in the arms of Spirit. And looking out at your life now, at first image the glory of God shining through all of life. And as you hold the image, it becomes more than an image. You begin to see, you are seeing the glory of God literally shining through everything and everyone. And feel the ecstasy of that. Cherish the beauty of nature all around you. Sense the beauty of the people around you. Cherish your friends and your loved ones. They make your life rich and full. And think of how grateful you are for them. And stretching out wide now into the vastness. Feel yourself in harmony with the universe. and the universe loving and accepting you. For you are the child of God, the child of that spirit of life that moves through all that is and loves you dearly. For a moment, feel the glory of God in your body. The well-being. Underneath any body issue you're facing, there still is that sense of well-being. And here we are, immersed in the earth, which is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Immersed in the spirit of life. And yet I am unique. And I have an essence you will find nowhere else. So feel the absolute gratitude for your life. Surrounded by the glory of God shining through everything, and feeling that glory of God shining out from your soul through you. Life is glorious. Father, we are grateful. Amen. The usher will come forward. We'll prepare for our offering. If you're at home, this is the way you give your offering. You either go to the home page at the end of service and click on the Donate Now button where you can use a credit card or PayPal. You can pull our address off and send us a check, or you can use Zelle. I'm not sure I know how to do this, but I'm told if you do, you can. You just get our phone number off the website. Or you can call the office to arrange for regular offerings. Thank you for your offerings. It is what is given from those of you out there and from those of you who attend that keeps us going, and we are truly grateful to each and every one of you. Let's bless our offering, knowing that the consciousness in which we give is the consciousness in which we receive from the universe. So we affirm, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. Thank you, God. Amen.
Here's a song that I picked out Friday morning, and then yesterday I was in a metaphysical bookstore and I saw it on the wall. It wasn't mine, but it was called The Traveler by James Dillett Freeman, and that was the poem that went to the moon. And so it's, you know, when I have these songs come up in my head, I usually have synchronicities around them, and this song is called Traveler. It's a fun little ditty. I'm a traveler, near through time and space, been thrown in the human race. Where am I going? How will I get there? Questions I must have to face. There's a road bound in glory, a pathway story, bound in glory, that your life must surely write. On and on we carry on the road that shines our inner light. There's a road bound in glory, narrow pathways does it lead. I'm a traveler bound in glory, now I live my life in peace. There's a road bound in glory, narrow pathways does it lead. I'm a traveler bound in glory, now I live my life in peace. Now I live my life in peace. Now I live my life in peace.
That was wonderful. Yes, yes. I'm glad you got your confirmation that it was the right song. Okay. Whether you're watching at home or attending here in person, thank you for being Unity Orlando. My church family and the consciousness that radiates light into this entire community. And for those of you at home, into the world. Next Sunday, my topic will be higher potentials, but it's actually going to be a special service. Some time ago, both the board and the staff got together and decided we were going to celebrate 2 big anniversaries. And one happened in July and one in December, so we're going to celebrate in September. It'll be next week. We're going to celebrate, well, I was ordained in 1973. So as of last July, it was 50 years in the Unity ministry. And 30 of them, in December it'll be 30, were spent right here at Unity Orlando. So, next week's our big celebration. They said, we can't just let this go by. We've got to celebrate it. So I hope you'll be able to be here. I'll probably share a little about my journey through the years. And then we're going to talk about higher potentials, because that's what drew me into Unity. And that's been my entire search for higher potentials. Then, of course, that's next week. 2 weeks from today, we'll have Reverend Ronnie Kenny's Celebration of Life. So, next 2 weeks, if you can be here, each one will be special. Let's all rise and let's radiate into the whole world our prayer of protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless you all. Have a wonderful